Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel QA Junction. In this video, we are going to learn how to handle the auto-suggestive dropdowns, which are also known as dynamic dropdowns, and also we are going to learn how to write the CSS, which are dynamic. So let's begin. We will be using Amazon.in website, and here after landing on this website, we are going to type iPhone 13. And after typing iPhone 13, you can see this is what auto-suggestive dropdown is. We can also call it as auto-suggestive list. It will display all the related items of iPhone 13. So after typing iPhone 13, we need to click on this iPhone 13 back cover, and then after navigating to this page, we need to capture the page title of this web page, that is our test case. So let's begin. So I think you are familiar with these steps, right? So this one is the prerequisite for writing down the test cases, and I am using test tag and writing the test steps inside it. I wrote the title as handling auto suggested dropdown. I am using page here, and you already know await page.goto will help us to navigate to the URL, and here I give Amazon URL. If you are not familiar with these steps, please go and watch my previous lectures which are uploaded in Playwright Part 1 Automation. So let's continue. Here we are going to type iPhone 13 in that search field, right? So let's do that. In order to type, we need to write the CSS for this input field. Just inspect, and you are going to see the HTML property for that. So this is what it is. So it is highlighting that search input field as you can see on the screen, and it also has ID. We can write it down the shortcut CSS, which is hash and ID value, and when you hit enter, it is showing 1 of 1. It is single web element and it is highlighting 2. So we can use this await page.locator, and here I am using press sequentially iPhone 13. So in previous lectures we used fill for entering the data in input fields, but here I am using press sequentially because it will enter this iPhone 13 in a slower way so that auto suggestive dropdown can load up and show. So when you use fill here, it will enter the text in a speed mode, but if we use press sequentially, it will enter the text in a slower mode. So that's the difference. So after that, what we need to do, after entering iPhone 13, this auto suggestive dropdown will get displayed, right? So from this auto suggestive list, we need to click on this iPhone 13 back cover. So how can you do that? You need to write the common CSS for all these web elements, and by using for loop if condition, we need to click on this iPhone 13 back cover. So you will understand by the end of this lecture. Let's continue. Inspect, and you can see it is in a container, right? It is in a container here. So write this CSS. First of all, we need to write this whole container CSS, right? So because all the items are in this container, so it also has class, so you can use the shortcut CSS dot class value, and then we need to traverse it here. So from here we need to traverse to this point. How can we do that? So just use this. So to traverse in CSS, just use space and write down the another CSS div class equal to value. You see, So I am using here regular expression. So if we are using regular expression, we don't need to write this much big value. We can write the partial value. So I am removing it, and you can see it is showing 1 of 10, and it will highlight each and every product of iPhone 13 which is given in the auto suggestive list. And this is one of the famous interview question which interviewer may ask you. So he will ask you the difference between web element and web elements, and the best example of web elements is this. So when you see more than 1 of 1, then it is web elements. When you see 1 of 1, then it is a web element. So that's the good answer you can give. So use this in your Playwright. So now what we are going to do is we are going to write the logic for clicking on iPhone 13 back cover. So just I am storing the locator in the constant list page.locator. Alright, and now this locator scope is in this list, so I can use list.count. So if I count, what will be the output? It is simple, right? It will throw us the output of 10 because it has 10 elements. So I am going to store this count in constant list count. Before moving forward, I forgot to write here hash because the CSS was hash and the ID value. So let's use for loop now. For let I equal to 0, we always start let I equal to 0 because it starts with 0 index, and I less than this list count. So this list count has 10, and that's the reason I am writing I less than this list count, and then I am incrementing I plus plus. So in this for loop I am going to write if condition. So this for loop will iterate these many times, so 10 times. So here I am giving if condition as await list dot nth of I. Nth of I is nothing but this I which is iterating, and text content. As you already know, text content is used to fetch the text, should be equal to iPhone 13 back cover. So this is what I wrote the condition. As you can see, we need iPhone 13 back cover, right? So inspect on that. So it has this text. Let me just copy. So I am writing the condition if that list has this iPhone 13 back cover, then await list dot nth of I dot click. So it will go to the list which has iPhone 13 back cover, and it will only click iPhone 13 back cover. And here I am also going to write await page dot title. So I can print it in output, right? console.log. Alright, and then you can use break statement. Break statement is nothing but if this condition passed in very first stage, it will break and navigate to next step. This break statement is used to consume less memory and the performance, because it will iterate this whole list, and we have our required product in third number. So it will iterate three times and it will break the condition and it will move out from the loop. And after this loop, I am going to write await page.pause so that you can see the performance. Because it is so fast, this await page.pause will open the Playwright inspector where you can debug. So before executing our test case, I am writing this step here because this helps us to wait for the auto-suggestive dropdown. So what I am writing is await list.last and wait for, and this list has this locator, right? Locator of auto-suggestive dropdown. So it will wait for last element that will help us to complete our test case. In Chrome browser, it will open amazon.in, and in search input field, it will type for iPhone 13, and then from list, it will click on iPhone 13 back cover. As you can notice, and we gave await.pause in last line, it will open the Playwright inspector for us. So just click on resume button on the Playwright inspector, it will complete your test case. And you can see this result, right? So it has also printed this iPhone 13 back cover page title which we gave in this console.log as a page title. So this is pretty much about writing down the dynamic CSS and also handling the auto suggestive dropdowns with the logic of for loop and if condition. Thank you.